Hey, Horsepower Nation, it's Eric again. Hey, today we're going to do a video on, we're going to swap out an I.A.C motor, idle air control motor, on the Camaro today. I have here a 96 LT1 motor, and we're going to swap out the I.A.C due to an idling issue that I'm having with the car. Of the ways I've done it, probably the easiest, most painless way of doing it is to take the throttle body off. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the throttle body off. We'll be able then to access the I.A.C. We're going to put the new I.A.C in, and we're going to bolt everything back up. So hopefully we can do this relatively quickly, okay? All right, so here it goes. So first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take the throttle cable off. So you want to hold this at wide open throttle, and it should slide out for you. You have to kind of line it up, but of course it's going to give me a hard time today to do this. So now we have that out. Now the throttle cable is disconnected. Now the next thing we want to do is disconnect your sensors. You got your throttle position sensor here. You might be better off using a flat screwdriver and be real careful, and you'll be able to get that out. So then we also have the I.A.C down here. So you want what we're going to replace. So real carefully we'll try and wiggle that out, and we have that out. So we're going to get those out of the way. Okay. Now you got there's 4 bolts with Allen heads that are on them. So what you're going to want to do, it says here it's a number 6 Allen you're going to want to put in there. Okay, so what we're going to do is take those out next. So So we have them loose enough. Grab my 3/8 extension and take those out by hand. Being careful not to have them, well, it really doesn't matter too much when you take them out. Putting them in, you want to make sure you get everything straight. You don't want to strip any threads out, since everything is aluminum and the bolts are kind of steel. So it's real easy to get yourself in a little bit of a bind with that. And we'll try not to... Obviously, we're going to try not to get ourselves in a bind today with that. So we're going to just nicely try and... Of course, it's going to give me a hard time here. But I'd be kind of disappointed if this car wasn't giving me a hard time on everything I do with it here lately. Maybe someday I should invest in some, cordless tools to make this easier. It's coming, but so is Christmas. Alright, come on. Figures it's the last bolt, too. It's always that way. That's who it was. It was about... Okay, so now, as you can see, the whole throttle body is off. Here's your I.A.C motor, and it's 2 screws like that. Okay, so I'm going to see if I have one of those in my toolbox, and we're going to take that off. Okay, and we'll get right back at it. Okay, so what we got here is we've got a Torx driver. And you see how it's starred. It's like a regular screwdriver, it just has a Torx bit on it. So what we're going to do is these here screws that are here, we're going to take these out. Okay, there's 2 of them. Okay, so make sure you count 2 of them, take them both out. So that's 1 screw. We got 2. And they're really not in there that hard. I mean, you don't want to crank these down when you reinstall the I.A.C motor because it's only plastic, and it'd be really easy to crack that plastic, and quite possibly you're going to have an air leak at that point, or it's just a mounting issue because there is an O-ring in there. So, trying with my clumsy fingers to not lose. I'm trying to turn these out, but then at the same time not lose the screws. Okay, so now they're out, and there's your old I.A.C motor. You can see this one's pretty carboned up, pretty beat up. So right now would be a good time to get some carburetor cleaner and spray out in here, clean all the carbon out of here. Make sure it's nice and clean. Since you have it apart, might as well clean it. All right, now we're going to set this here for now. Now what we got is the new I.A.C motor. So get this out of the bag and you see the new one here with a new O-ring and everything. So what we're going to do is make sure we're going to put it back on. Now make sure when you put it in, you orientate the plug for your sensor plug that's in the right direction. Okay, so to this one you want it facing, because the plug is going to come from the front of the engine. So when you put it in, make sure it is that way. So we put it in there. We're going to put a little oil on that O-ring, okay, and then we're going to have it in like this. Now we got to put the screws in. So you want to hold it this way, that would be vertical, and try and get those and try to finger start them, okay, because remember, these are really fine threads, they're small screws, real easy to drop and lose, and that would ruin your day. So let's get these started. Now we get our driver and we just run them in by hand. Like I say, you don't just snug them up good. You don't have to bolt tighten them. It's only plastic. It's gonna crack real easy. So we run them in. Now done. Now that's on. Now what we can do, I got a new gasket on the back here to put in between. So what you want to do is you want to check, make sure your surface here is clean of any foreign debris, dirt, etc., etc. It looks pretty good. So then what you're going to do is, I would do one top bolt for now, push it through all the way, and then what you're going to do is line it up with the intake manifold. So what you want to do is maybe just start that a couple turns, okay? Not because you want to be able to move it around. Now we're going to take the one that was giving us the hard time when we took it apart. I'm thinking we should do that next. So you're gonna feel it click, that lines up, and you're gonna hand start it, okay? And then you're gonna do the same thing to the other two. So like I said, once again, you're gonna have 4 total bolts that hold the throttle body on to the intake manifold. Okay, so then what we're going to do is run them in the rest of the way. Now keep in mind too, I just thought of it, make sure you don't pinch these down underneath where you can't get at them. Okay, you want to be able to get at these because you got to be able to hook it up. So, sorry about that. I'm working in the trailer. Of course the door was fine because there was no air moving. As you can tell by everything, I'm sweating like a pig here. Now all of a sudden, because, you know, we're halfway into this, now it's going to start acting up. So, go figure. So, alright, so we're going to start that. Then we'll start this one, run it in. We'll do the same thing here. Now what we can do is, hang with me. Alright, we'll put the ratchet on here. We'll start. That's tight. I like using the an X pattern with whatever, especially when you're dealing with air and like that. I like using the X pattern because it puts even pressure down on it and helps that there are no leaks. So just snug those up good. You don't need to bolt tighten them. Alright, so that's tight. Now, all we have left to do now is hook up your sensors. So you have your I.A.C motor, which here looks like a bunch of pink wires with blue weather pack. So you're going to push that connector carefully because you don't want to bend any pins. Okay, so we're going to carefully put that on. Now you're going to have your throttle position sensor, so we're going to carefully push that on, not to bend any pins. We're going to carefully push that on as well. And you're going to feel that snap. Give them a little bit of tug, make sure that they're good. Okay, so now those are on, that's tight. Now the next thing we have to do is put our throttle cable on. So we're going to see, we'll put that barrel in there, index the wire thing, we're going to bring it back. You're going to hear it slam. It's all hooked up. So, as you can see, that wasn't too bad. So now we have a new idle air control motor. We have a new gasket in there. And hopefully that'll take care of the idling issue that you have with the car not idling. So I'm going to check it here in a couple minutes and hopefully everything's good. So that's today's little tip on replacing idle air control motor. Take care of each other. You can check out this video, like and share it. Please subscribe. I'd appreciate if you subscribe. Maybe you have some comments, some different suggestions. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it, but it's just the way that I do it, and I thought just to get an idea of how to do this. Also, any other ideas, you can hit me up at ericsnyder802@gmail.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at ericsnyder26. So everybody take care, watch out for each other, and have a great day.